Hey guys, what's up? It's Sean, Autotopia LA. Today, we're headed back up to Steve Strope's shop, Pure Vision Design. With any of the episodes with Steve, you'll hear me say, this is one of my favorite cars they've ever built, because I say that about all their cars, but this is one of my favorite cars they've ever built. The 66 Ford Fairlane called the Black Ops Fairlane. This car won the Ford Design Award. It's been on Jay Leno's YouTube channel. It is a kick-ass car, and that's where we're headed right now. So hold on, man, because here we go. All right, you guys, we're back up at Pure Vision Design with the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Steve Strope.
As long as you're not bored of me yet, and we'll keep giving you stuff to look at.
Far from it, dude.
Okay.
Far from it. So today we're digging into the 66 Fairlane.
So the basis behind this is, you know, if you've been paying attention, I like to do what ifs. So let's go back in time. Owner wants me to design a super cool Fairlane. I'm like, Fairlane? I don't mind it. Fairlane dudes, I'm not a hater. I like it. Obviously we built a nice one. So, but I'm like, okay. So I'm given kind of carte blanche. So what am I going to do? Well, there's your drag race version, there's your stock car version, there's your Street Machine Pro Touring version, there's your, nothing's really ringing the bell here to like break mold. And I'm like, well, GM had their Skunk Works deal. You know, they're kind of behind closed doors,
right,
top secret performance thing.
Right.
So what if Ford, I'm sure they have something, but I nicknamed it Black Ops, right?
Right.
Group of guys, test dudes, high performance everything. So it's 66 going into 67. This is the body Ford is sponsoring their race teams for drag racing and for NASCAR.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So what if we fiddled with a bunch of things as a test car before we put them on production cars, see if there were aerodynamic gains and benefits, if there was this motor or that motor, working with different kinds of suspensions, because we can do anything we want on a test car. We don't have any rule book we have to follow.
Right.
If something works really good, then we'll try to implement it and see if we can sneak it by the rule book.
Right.
So this is a theoretical super shiny version of a test car. And so that allowed me to go into the world of mid and late 60s racing of any sort and borrow and change because they're testing. So one of the things I brought that I was going to do on the Martini Mustang and I wound up not, and it was still in my brain, was eliminating the door handle and doing those little vertical door pulls.
Right.
To clean up the air.
Right.
And it made it really simple. That goes directly down to the pull rod, right?
And it looks cool.
And it looks, well, yeah, it's so bitchin'.
So,
also borrowing from one of my genius engineers, Jim Hall from Chaparral.
Right.
He was kicking everyone's ass in Can-Am. He
Sure.
had these giant adjustable air brake wings.
Sure.
Right? So I said,
which is one of the
what if I
coolest
do a
things
wing,
you did on this car.
But it works with the brakes, so it's an air brake. When
Right.
you hit the brakes, it comes up.
Right.
And I have the piece of paper in my notebook that I sketched this all at about 3:45 in the morning. I came up with this intake idea of a potential prototype Mickey Thompson with 4 2 barrels offset, and then had these long, they call them Le Mans float bowls, which were bowls that I saw on carburetors used in NASCARs in the day. So I'm using stuff I know exists, mixing it with what ifs, you know, so we got the killer sock motor.
Right.
This neat Mickey Thompson, he never made
Single
it.
overhead cam, by the way, you guys.
Yeah, otherwise known as big, huge motor. And this...
What is the size of the motor?
Big.
Come on. Is that what you got for me is big?
Yeah, it's big.
Okay, guys.
It's like 500
It's a big
plus.
cubic
It's
inch
500
motor.
plus 520 something. I don't remember. It's not big. What do you care? You're buying it? One of the neat things I liked, because of fiddling with Chryslers, was torsion bars. So the front suspension, the torsion bars run through the inside of the frame rails. They're hidden. Then there's notches in the frame rails that arms come out and link down to the lower control arm. So that's your coil spring. It's the torsion bar, and you'll look on the floor. You'll see the adjusters.
Oh yeah.
So you
can adjust your torsion bar from inside the car.
So also we'll open up the trunk, and the trunk is a whole torsion bar rack. They go side to side with arms that go through links that go down through stainless oval tunnels that go through the center of the frame rail horns that go up over the rear axle. So you took a piece of stainless oval, cut it to length, weld it so it keeps strength in the frame, and it's a hollow pass for the link from the arm on the torsion bar up inside the trunk down to a tab on the rear axle. That's your suspension. So it's hidden inside of there, but Ford, they could take that, it's all bolted in to chassis mounting points in the roll bar. So it's all into super strong area.
Right.
You unbolt the bolts, take the whole thing out, pound out the torsion bars, change the torsion bars, bolt it back in. Wow, so you can change spring rates. And the funny thing is you can, after you're done watching this video and liking it, you can go over and type in Steve Strope, Jay Leno. And he was driving this, and he even made comments to me off camera when we were driving. He goes, "This thing rides really nice. I expected it to be a milk truck." And I go, "No," because we corner scaled it and worked with Schroeder, who does torsion bars for Indy, sprint car, all that stuff. So I worked with all that. We used their hard parts and created our nut job version of it. So what you got is a what if, and that's why you see, like, if you look hard enough at my gauge layout, it's very GT40, big tack over here. There's an hour meter, which you would use on a test thing. It's come from aircraft and nautical, so how long they were running it. Little things like that make sense for a vehicle that's being used as a test bed.
And that also explains why, like, there's no center cap on the steering wheel. It's kind of wrapped the way it is.
Because that's what NASCAR did back then. They used the factory wheel and wrapped it and didn't have a horn button. The transmission mount off the kind of cross member was really hokey. And so Kelly took the lower part of the whole floor pan of a 67 Mustang, the whole cross member hat that takes the top loader 4-speed transmission mount cross member, integrated it in here so it's way stronger, and the transmission tunnel and the transmission mount from the Mustang allow instant fit for the top loader 4-speed. Shifter handle right out the right hole, way stronger than the thing that was here in the Fairlane. So it was using what existed in Ford's stamped sheet metal, applying it to here, and actually made it stronger and better, but allowed for Ford stuff, because we didn't want to use a modern transmission. It would ruin the theme.
Right.
So
that's one of the things, by the way, you guys, is one of Steve's Pure Vision, the whole company here, one of their big things is that they stay true to themes. They stay all the way through.
It's the art of the car.
Yeah. So like you're not going to put a Coyote motor in this, even though it's Ford.
It'd ruin it.
Kill it.
It'd ruin it.
Totally
not what this car is.
So everything on this car, dude, is this another one of those where it could have all been done in that
for
time
all of
period?
it, all intents and purposes, yeah, a lot of it.
God, man.
Yeah, it could have been done.
What is the wheel? Is that a?
It is a direct copy of the Lamborghini Mira wheel, which is the most beautiful wheel ever.
Yeah, I'm with you. And is that a true? That's a true knockoff.
It's a full 6-pin drive knockoff. When I told people about that, they're like, I'm like, you just wait till it's on this car.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Righteous.
You can't even imagine any other wheel on this car after you see this Mira wheel on here. Who made the wheels? Is it?
Evod.
Okay.
They're all from 4 giant chunks of aluminum. Lots of attempts to keep it visually correct. The seats are older style race buckets.
Low back race buckets.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm curious, color. Is it a Ford color or is this an Aston color? Is it Aston?
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's a lightly changed Chrysler color. Called,
don't tell anyone.
A little bit darker surf blue from Chrysler.
Wow, dude.
A little darker. And this is a Nissan color called Atomic Orange, even though it looks gold.
Looks very gold.
And this is the quiet version. This actually has some mufflers on it.
Right.
Because the other version was like...
It was heinous. I remember it. And I like loud cars,
but it was just loud.
You set off all the car alarms.
It was too loud.
It was perfect, but it was
I mean, it was fired up and everybody is running for cover.
Yeah,
like you're sure there's a war breaking out.
Yeah, it was gnarly.
No, it was radical.
So well, we might as well roll the thing out and
yeah, let's do it.
We'll get rocking.
And then we're gonna go for a drive. You guys want to go for a ride with us?
I do. Me, Dad.
Yeah, it really wants to run, doesn't it?
Yes.
It does not want to cruise at all.
No, not really.
This thing is so bitchin', dude.
And it's very brutal.
Yeah, this is a mean car. This is a, as some of my viewers like to say now, that's a man's car.
See, it just wants to...
Yeah.
It's pissed off and it's angry and it doesn't like you and it hates everybody.
Amazing how simple it is in here. I mean, like, you got to be a real Fairlane guy to understand how much was changed here.
Oh, heck yeah. And it rides nice.
It does.
It doesn't beat you up.
No, I was expecting stiffer, like, you know, bouncy. But then when you turn it, you probably don't get a lot of body roll either, huh?
No.
Yes!
I'll let you drive it.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm never gonna ask and I'm never gonna say no.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. There you go.
Wow, it really wants to jump.
Yeah. You can feel that quick change and it's very visceral. It's very mechanical.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Dude, I'm barely touching it.
Yes.
It's just ready.
There's a lot of headroom.
I mean, for a custom old world muscle car, I don't want refined, dude. I really
Not this
don't.
car. Not this one.
No. No, I want it to feel like it can bite if I get out of control.
Do
You
you
know?
feel what I'm talking about? That it hunts, that it wants to go forward.
Yes.
In fact, it almost bucks you when you slow down. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, it's just dying to go. It wants input.
Should have heard it with the old exhaust system.
I can't even imagine, because this is loud, dude.
Yeah, I know.
And I remember the old one from the outside, so I can only imagine inside.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a ton of brake too, huh?
Yep.
There's a ton of brake on this car.
They're the big Lincoln brakes, so they're stone stock. They were made to slow a car another 1,000 pounds heavier.
Right.
So they'll do the job.
I love the clutch too. I love that you went hydraulic on it. It feels so smooth. All right, you guys, we just left Strope's Pure Vision Design. I'm like pretty jacked right now. That car, even though I didn't drive it fast, number one, I got to drive the Fairlane, which I never would have expected getting to drive that car. It's such a visceral experience. There's smells, there's sounds, you know, it's such a mechanical car. There's no electronic, granny assist, anything. It's such a raw, visceral experience of driving. Just totally blown away. I mean, if you guys have seen any of the episodes before with Strope, you know he builds some extraordinary vehicles. Not just him, his guys, Kelly and Pete and Troy and the other people that he uses. What a mind-boggling experience to get to drive that car. I'm just blown away right now, so I'll just shut up and say thank you for hanging and watching and supporting what we're up to here at the channel. Truly do appreciate it, and I will see you in the next episode. All right, man. Later.